Hello everyone, this is Joab here. I hope you are doing great. Thanks so much for stopping by the workshop. Please subscribe to the channel so you can keep yourself posted of some things that I've always, been exploring. And so today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show a little bit how to create a reflected material in Unity. It's pretty simple, just not too complicated, but it might be very useful for you, for your projects, and any work that you might need to use this tool. Here I have a little example of a reflected object that I just created, and that's kind of pretty much what we're going to be doing. Okay, so stay tuned. It's going to be a short video on this skill. All right, so let me just add a few objects here and changing their color. Actually, let me just create different materials for different colors and add them in different locations. Let me just delete this one too. I'm gonna, let's see, an object here. I'm gonna just make some objects smaller. I'm gonna change a little bit of the orientations of some of these objects, just to make this a little bit fun space. There you go, that's gonna pretty much. And let me add just one more object, which would be, actually let me add a sphere. That would be fun to add a sphere. Let me delete this cube, add a sphere. So the sphere will be the prefab that I want to add the reflected material, and we reflect some of the objects that's around here. I think that would be, it would be fun. It would be better to, right there. Let's change this to, I'm gonna add the orange here. There you go. Cool. And add an orange here. Cool. So we have this object, and the plan is to, again, to have an object here that will reflect. So I'm going to just create an object here, a new material, create a material, and I'm going to write reflective sphere. Cool. I'm going to get this reflective sphere. I'm going to just add it to the sphere, and you can see here reflective sphere is already on my sphere. So there are a few places here that you need to look, which is pretty simple, on this metallic here and on smoothness. Okay, you can come here and just change the, you already can see the sphere changing all the way, and smoothness. So that's kind of pretty much, it's already, you can see that the object is completely reflecting. The floor here is not reflecting. As you can see, the floor is yellow and the reflection is green here. So there is a problem on this reflected material, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fix it. Okay. All right. So next, let me just save it. Control S. If I play this material here, let me just play it, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Okay, so you can see that one is not reflecting truly because the floor is yellow and the reflection here is green. And if I change the position of my player. Let me just change the VR controller. Actually, I want to change I'll change the sphere. If I change the position of my sphere, you can see that it does not change the position of the sphere. It feels like it's pretty much, the reflection is pretty much it's not doing what it's supposed to do, right? You can see the reflection is pretty much just stuck on that sphere. The reflection is not actually changing as I move the sphere. Okay, it's stuck there. So let me just go back to the original. So you're actually not doing what you're supposed to. Let me just zero this too. Cool. So this is my camera, the location of my camera. So, and these need to be adjusted. So what I'm going to be doing, let me move this a little bit to the side so I can see, see more. There you go, right there. So what you're going to do next is you're going to come here to Game Objects, and you're going to come to Light, and you're going to come to Reflection Probe, okay? And you're going to add Reflection Probe. So Reflection Probe, when you add a Reflection Probe, you're going to see that that's a cube that was added here. Okay, it's a cube. Okay, we'll drag this cube into the location that needs to be reflected. And when you touch it, you can see that it turns into black. Okay, the object that will be reflected, it will turn into black. Okay. All right, just a few things. Oh yeah, actually here you can scale. That's where I'm supposed to scale. Here. Actually you don't need to scale. You will. If you scale too much, you will. Shouldn't scale. We can scale and we can play a little bit with it. But here's 1 whole meter. Let's see the size of my sphere. My sphere is 13 meters. Just a huge sphere. So technically the reflection probe is smaller than the sphere. Just the cube that's kind of big, and it goes bigger, but the reflection is technically inside. Okay, so be aware of the scales. But the reflection probe will be a child of it, the sphere. Okay, the object that you want to reflect. Or a few things about the reflection probe here. You want the object that's being reflected, okay, the objects that has the reflection. You want to put in real time, okay. So when you add here on a type, that's a real time reflection. Depend of the object too, because if you have an object that's overly detailed, you know, if you have a scene that's pretty crazy detail, every frame, that whatever you're moving, every frame, it will keep changing the reflection. So it definitely consumes graphic power. So so be aware of that. If you add that baked, you needed to bake the reflection, which is right here. But if you move the object, if you move, for example, it's baked already, right? If you move this object, sorry, sphere here. If you move the object, that this reflection is gonna, because it was baked already, is gonna get stuck here. So ideally, I mean, in a very overly complicated scene, baking would do a good job. But again, in a very complicated scene, if it's low poly, still can work without being baked in real time. So that's something that you need to play with. And when you put your headsets on and you play your work, you're gonna see if it's kind of a slow down, or if there's too many reflection. you need to play with real-time reflection or baked, okay? But for this sake of this tutorial, I will go with real-time, okay? So I'm going to click here, real-time reflection, and I'm going to put here on every frame as well. So while I'm moving in this virtual environment, that reflection, I will be able to see every frame. Pretty much every frame will adjust the reflection. So you can imagine the amount of graphic power and hardware power from the VR headset. Okay, all right, cool. All right, and lastly, which is very important here for you to do, is that you're gonna select everything. You don't need to select, actually the VR control is pretty much almost everything here. You're gonna select everything here. You can see that I selected everything. And I'm gonna be here in static. You can see that I am on, usually a lot of times is on nothing here, but you're gonna click on a reflection probe, okay? So click on reflection probe, select pretty much everything on your scene and click on selection probe, okay? And then you're set. Hold on, I was doing those adjustments while I was on player. So let me just add this reflection probe again. Reflection probe. Oh, actually, now the reflection probe is already here. Sorry. Why that reflection probe? Let me just select everything. Static, nothing, and reflection probe. Great. Well, they're excellent. Everything's fine now. And on awake, every frame. All right, cool. So everything's pretty good here. Everything is, again, I selected everything, is on reflection probe static. Pretty good. So let's play here, and I'm gonna move my sphere and see. So you can see now the sphere is reflecting the yellow. And if I move my sphere to the sides, you can see that the blue right here, the blue object, it changes automatically accordingly. If I let's see here, you can see that it perfectly reflects what it needs to be reflected. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. Add some reflections in your work. It's a pretty cool feature that Unity offers. All right, have a good one, everyone. Peace out.